life I could have known, one beyond my wildest dreams. Maybe that road could have carried me to streets of gold, but things aren't always as they seem. Looking back on all the chances that I missed, some I held, some slipped away. One street over where my memories exist, I wondered what would change, I really couldn't say. In this life there's nothing certain, except the curtain that rises to the stage. Silly games of second guessing, I just forget the lessons that I couldn't learn. Because one street over there's a life I could have known, that would have kept me from the one I had today.
This is 1100 WSGI News LaVern, and on into it. My goodness. I'm still getting in here and getting this. Oh my goodness, they're saying hi already this morning. This is 1100 WSGI. Because we have got other family.
Time's gone by, I've traded like dirt into play. I thought my memories would end.
So we got Tracy.
One street over's now 1,000 miles away. When I close my eyes, I'm back to where I've been. In this life there's nothing certain, except the curtain that rises to the stage. Silly games of second guessing, I just forget the lessons that I couldn't learn. Because one street over there's a life I could have known, that would have kept me from the one I had today. I took a walk one street over from my home, cracked and broken asphalt everywhere. I could have ended up just like that broken road, with a dead end in my path. Thank the Lord that I've got more than that. In this life there's nothing certain, except the curtain that rises to the stage. Silly games of second guessing, I won't forget the lessons that I don't deserve. Because one street over there's a life I could have known, that would have kept me from the one I love today. One street over there's a life I could have known, things aren't always as they seem.
And so everything they had was red, everything we had was green. And so we would go to the Louisville tractor pool.
All up in the phone.
And we'd go to the tractor pool and we'd get up there and it was like Kentucky versus Tennessee. I mean, it was a rivalry.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, if you just don't know, the tractor pool community, there is a rivalry between green and red.
Yep.
Big. And Terry, a lot of them, like my parents have passed. Sandra has, but Terry, he's still he still collects. He's got a bunch of collect. He's got some old tractors and the toys and all that, and everything's red. And every now and then, just to kind of pick at him, we'll give him something green. We'll give him a John Deere hat or something like that, something just to mess with him,
Oh, yeah.
And they've been to the Threshermen show back in the day when my uncle Joe used to come up here to the Threshermen show because he was a big collector.
Yeah.
But his was mostly John Deere as well. So, but hey, it's a good time. Tell me something. The Threshermen show is coming up. It's next weekend.
Right.
But we want you to get it in your schedule and stuff because this is a big party. We were out there last year. And I've been trying to work it out in my schedule where I can just be there all weekend because I want to be there for your Sunday afternoon, like your Sunday worship time.
Yes.
And then going into your big potluck because that just sounds like so much fun.
It is.
And tell me a little bit about that because I've never been able to make it for that. I'm not going to be available this time, but one of these days I'm going to make it to that because it just reminds me of the way I grew up.
Well, it
You
is.
know?
It is
Yeah.
old time church. Red River Baptist is the
Okay.
ones that are doing it. Tyler Eastep, pastor at Red River, and service is at 11, and it is anybody and everyone is welcome because
Uh-huh.
there is, first of all, so much food after the service, but
Yeah.
the service is amazing always, and we just would love for that Sunday morning, afternoon to just become a big day.
I love it.
It's growing year after year, and it's just a whole lot of fun.
I love it. I love
Yeah.
it. And it's one of those things that if you've never been to a dinner on the grounds, as we used to call it
Yeah.
whenever I was a kid, dinner on the grounds, I think it's got that kind of feel from
It
what y'all were
is.
telling me.
It
And
is.
just if you know, try your best to make it out there because you can get a ticket for the Threshermen show and it's good for all weekend. I mean, you can get a weekend.
You
pass,
can. You
right,
can get a weekend pass.
on
Yeah.
Thursday.
Yes.
So we'll unpack all that, but we're talking Thresherman show today. I wanted to give now some of you guys. Let's just kind of clarify something. The school board meeting happened last night. We're in summer break. I talked to Dr. Weeks. We're going to pick back up with our school board type meetings and things like that in August. We're also going to be meeting with individual principals. So we're setting all that up, and we'll get on into school. We'll talk about early registration and all those things later on. But I just wanted to, this was the only time I had that I could maneuver an hour for you guys to get y'all in between now and then, just to talk about all the different things that happened with the Threshermen show.
Well, we appreciate it.
And
yeah.
I mean, it's just such a cool event. It's been around for a long time. How long has it been? I mean, how many years has this been going on?
This is the 54th annual
Wow.
show.
54th annual. Do you know anything
Started in
about the history about
1969.
why they started it? I mean, so 69.
69. Yeah. Well, it's
I
kind
was
of funny.
born in 62, so
Yeah. We've got a family member that just compiled a book of the Swan. This is my mother's side,
uh-huh.
like family lineage,
Okay.
and we're learning some things in this book, and it's really good because the Thresherman show is mentioned in there, and my great grandfather Paul Swan, him and his brother ran the farm. They bought the Ketgarmer steam engine that we now own and run every year that runs the wheat thresher.
Okay.
But what happened was the tractors came in. The government actually told all the farmers that they weren't allowed to run steam engines anymore. And
I love it.
after a few years went by, those old guys still sitting around, still doing what they used to do,
Mm-hmm.
still playing with their engines, not working with them, but they would still play with them, decided to just, why don't we just start this? Why don't we just start this group? And it was, I think, 25 guys, somewhere around there.
Mm-hmm.
And they all kind of pitched in some money, got the pot going. That was in 1969. The actual first official meeting for the association was in 1970, and the first official show was third weekend in July of 1970. And it was just a bunch of old farmers that wanted to continue to play with their steam engines.
That is cool.
Yeah.
And I did not realize, okay, this is so interesting. That's why I wanted to give you guys some extra time because we talk about the events and all that, and we never really have time to unpack. I didn't know there was a government thing that said you couldn't use them anymore. Really?
Well, that's what Granddaddy Paul said.
That is crazy.
Yeah. He
Huh.
said they wouldn't let us use it no more,
That's crazy.
so they had to park them.
That's weird because now what happens with the Mennonite and the Amish community? Because don't they still utilize some of that stuff, or do they do horse driven? They do.
Mostly it's probably horse driven,
Okay.
but I mean, we got guys that come up, Amish and Mennonites that
Yeah.
come up, and they talk about how I run my case engine, or I run my Keck, or I run my Frick, or whatever.
Mhm.
So, I mean, they still run it. I mean, the rules have probably changed now.
Yeah.
With we get inspections every year, and the government knows what's in use and what's not in use, and so there's
Interesting.
actually a pretty strict process to get the engines certified.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So you have to, because see, we have an old Kelly. I say we. It belongs to the farm up in West Kentucky. We have an old Kelly Springfield.
Yeah.
And it's a collectible. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
it's a rarity. And my dad just love that kind of stuff.
Yep.
And it's up under the shed. And I don't know what my brother's planning on doing with it, but, because my parents have passed. But it's rare. And Daddy had it running at one time.
Mhm.
I can remember he had a couple of different steam engines that he had running at one time. And he just loved all that stuff.
Yeah.
And it's fascinating to me because it's technology. I'll read historical novels and things about the development of steam and the danger
Oh, yeah.
that was involved when it
Oh, yeah.
first came about. And that's a fascinating study
Yeah.
to get to that point.
Right.
But it was what birthed what we have now.
Oh,
You
yeah.
it's
Oh,
like
yeah.
all these steps. I mean, when you really understand the history of how we got to this and how we got to, I've got a car issue this morning, but, and how they run, how things run and how they need to run. It's fascinating.
Well, I love to explain it to people when they come up and, they start asking about the engine
Uh-huh.
because you don't see that. You just
Yeah.
don't see these old machines running.
Yeah.
And people come up and ask about it. And I love to tell them, I said, what you're actually looking at is the inside of an engine. If
That's
you
so
was to
cool.
if you was to open up the block of an engine and look at the internals, that's what you're actually looking at on top of on a steam engine.
That's cool stuff.
Yeah.
It's cool stuff. And it's fascinating. It is fun. It is a wonderful, just kind of, break from, whatever you're doing this summer, man. Just go out and hang out with them for the Threshermen show. And it's family friendly. You're going to have a good time.
Oh, yeah.
Kids running everywhere. That's one of the things I love. It's kind of got that. You go to the fair now and it's different.
Yeah.
This reminds me of what the fair was like when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Period. And, it doesn't have the rides or anything like that, but it just really reminds me of the old fair kind of feel. And so I just can't say enough about it. It's a good time. And we want to invite you out because it will start next Thursday, right? At what time? Next Thursday.
Next Thursday at noon,
At
the gates
noon.
will open. Yep.
So
we call it our crank up day.
So how do the tickets and stuff work? Because it's like, I know we've bought armbands on Thursday that gets us through the weekend, right?
Yes. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think.
You can
Yeah.
come on Thursday. You can get a weekend pass. That'll get you Thursday, Friday, Saturday,
And Sunday.
and Sunday. Yeah.
They're not going to charge you Sunday.
Absolutely
if you show up.
Sunday.
Yeah.
But you can get that. So that'll be one color, and then you've got a Friday color, and then you got a Saturday color if that's
Sure. If you want to come
Yeah.
in just for a day.
just for a day.
Okay. But to get that weekend pass, of course, you need to be there on Thursday.
Right.
And I recommend you doing that because my husband's favorite thing about the Threshermen show are the horses. He loves the pony pool.
This year that we have worked really hard, and thank you to Mike Matthews.
Mm-hmm.
The horse, mule, and pony pool is going to be pretty. It's going to be a sight to see this year.
When is all that happening?
Well, we've got 3 shows. Well, we've
Okay.
got 3 pools.
I'll tell you what, let's pause for a second. Let me do my break. And we'll come back and we'll kind of unpack all that. And then we'll kind of get into the different elements of the tractors, because I know that's what Carson wants to talk about.
Mhm.
All tractors and stuff. And he is fine. He can make all the noise he wants to. Jake is here. What'd you say? He's 18 months old?
Yeah,
16 months old. You're awesome. You're awesome. Your granddad said, hey, can I come? And it's like, yeah, you can.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You're perfectly fine. But we love it when little ones come in and we just get a chance to see them. And that's what this is about, guys. This show is about just seeing what's going on in the community, meeting your neighbors, and seeing what's going on one street over from where you live in. That's what this is about.
Yep.
And everybody's welcome. Even little ones.
Even
yes,
little
sir.
ones.
You are so cute.
He doesn't have a choice. So.
He is going to do just fine. But how many kids do y'all have?
One. This is our first
This
one.
is your first one.
Yep.
Okay. Well, hi there, youngin. He's so cute. He's like, who in the world is this person? But anyway, okay. Well, let me do my break, and we're going to come back, and we're going to talk about the horse pool and the schedule as far as the horse pools. But before we do that, we need to talk about Barry and Rebecca Richards. They're with Exit Prime Realty, our longest running full-time sponsor. We love them so much, and we appreciate all that they do for so much here in Robertson County. They are part of, seems like everything. They're out there all the time, supporting community events, doing stuff. They are so interesting because they come out of diverse backgrounds. I talk about Rebecca was she worked in radiology before she got bit by the real estate bug and said, I think I want to try this. Next thing you know, she's full time. And now she's been at it so long, she's one of the first in the area to be a seniors real estate specialist. And that is unique in the sense that if you've got somebody that's older that needs to downsize their property, that needs to do something different, she's the one you need to talk to. And you can go to her and she will help you out and make sure that everything that you need is lined up just perfectly so you can maybe sell some old property, get into a new property. She understands that. So she specializes in that. She's in White House. She has an agency office in White House. Barry, he came out of a marketing background. Cannot say enough. I say that every time, that if you have not understood the importance of having a marketer to help present your property, you're missing something. People flip through real estate so quickly now, and if your pictures do not pop, if you don't have some video, maybe even drone footage or a walkthrough tour, you're not going to get the look that you need to get. And it's a little more competitive right now for folks that are selling. So you need somebody like Barry on your team. He has a brokerage office here in Springfield. They combine those two offices to bring you a new branch in the exit tree. It's Exit Prime Realty. You can Google them, or you can just give them a call, 615-504-7425, 615-504-7425. But Rebecca and Barry Richards, Exit Prime Realty, longtime sponsor of this program. When you get in touch with them, please always let them know. And we are talking all I was actually, a little kid when this was, and I remember it because my relatives got involved in it very early because it's the Kentucky-Tennessee Threshermen show up in Adams. And I would love to see some old pictures of my family members here. And I know a few. Do you have anybody that kind of archives that stuff?
Yeah, Tim Henson.
Okay.
Tim Henson is
Michigan.
our
Okay, yeah.
He's our Adams historian.
Okay, I need to talk to him. I haven't had him in a while. He's a fun guy to talk to. My goodness. But I bet he's probably got some pictures of some of my family in there, more than likely. So we're of course talking about the engines and the tractors and all of those things, but there was an aspect to it with the horses. When did all that come into be? Because if it started out as, just the steam engines, when did y'all bring in the horse pulls and things like, and the donkey and the mule pulls and all that?
As far as I know, they've always been there. Now we've had some dead years where we couldn't get enough pullers to come,
right?
So we didn't have pulls. But that's all I remember us having is you always had a horse pull, mule pull, tractor pulls, all that. We always had good, faithful guys that would bring their teams that would help move the wheat for us, and when we would put in the thresher and all that. But these past few years, man, the mule people have come out of the woodworks. To come out. It's
almost like there's a renewed interest in it.
It feels like it.
Yeah, it really does. And that's something my husband has said, because he is from practically Canada. He's in Upper Peninsula, Michigan, just south of Lake Superior. His brother, his whole family, they raised Belgians.
Yeah.
And so they pull one of my first memories of being in their family is going to the fair up in Norway, Michigan, and going to the horse pulls. And so I've been around it now, for 33 years, and had no idea it was even a thing. We pulled, we did tractor pulls. I didn't know about horse pulls. Yeah. And it's cool. It is really cool. But I know that that's the thing that my husband's just like, I'm going to the pony pool. Are you coming with? And so what is the schedule then on all the horse pulls? And then we'll get into the schedule. I've got the flyer right here.
Yeah.
So
we've got a pull on Thursday, which will be at 7. And that is our big horse pull. That's going to be the big boys.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're talking probably 3,000-pound teams. They're going to be some big guys. Friday, we're going to have the mule pull.
Okay.
It'll start at 7, and then the pony will start at 7. They'll start at 7 on Saturday.
On Saturday.
Yeah.
Okay. My husband's going to be so mad we'll have to miss the pony pool. Yes, he loves those ponies.
Them
Those
ponies-
are something,
Man, yeah, they are
Yeah.
high strung.
They really
they're fun
are.
to watch.
They are a lot of fun to watch. And if you've not seen these animals, they're athletes. That's what my husband,
Yeah.
he goes, these are athletes. I'm like, okay, honey, they're athletes. And my husband will be out there helping some on Thursday and Friday. So I don't really know to what degree, but he's
Yeah.
like, I'm going to be there.
Good.
And it's going to be a lot of fun, but we'll be there, and I can't wait to just kind of see what's going on. Oh no! Oh my, Andy Leonard! My goodness, I told you the Leonards.
Yes.
He's chiming in here. He
There
says
you
he's
go.
been to Adams a couple of times several years ago with the antique tractor pull.
Yep.
See, I told you, Andy. If you're just joining us, we've been talking about the red versus green rivalry back home, and he can attest to that. You need to get your daddy on here. But I mean, y'all have no idea. I mean, it is quite the rivalry between our families. But they are, you just have those neighboring farms, and everything they had was red, and everything we had's green.
Yep.
So, but that's fun to see Andy on here this morning chiming in. So that's what's happening with the animal pool. Now, as far as the tractor pools and the antique pools and all that, what's the schedule there? And I know that's your field, Grayson. Let's
So
go.
they're pulling mini rod tractors on Thursday night at 7 p.m.
Okay.
And that's the little hot rod ones with like the big motors on and
yeah.
stuff.
Okay.
And then let's see here. Tractor pull is at Friday at 5 p.m. and Saturday it starts at 1 p.m.
Okay.
So,
So you won't have any competition for the horse pull and the tractor pull on Saturday. You can go see
Right.
the ponies in the morning and the tractor pull, and that's really kind of the big show is on Saturday, wouldn't you say?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So if you've only got to go one day, Saturday would probably be the day to go when you're going to see
Saturday's the day.
everything. And you're going to see, when can people come in and start seeing all the threshing and all of that and, see what, when are you going to do? Because you're going to do demonstrations with that,
Oh yeah.
correct?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
So
will that
the
be
gate.
going all day or?
Yeah, the gates open at 8. So
Okay.
you get there at 8:00. You can come in. As far as the thrashing, there's 3 shows a day for Friday and Saturday. 11, 1, and 3.
11,
That'll-
1, and 3.
That'll be
Okay, I
Friday
see. The
and
wheat
Saturday.
threshing, there it
Yep.
is, 11, 1, and 3. And then the sawmilling.
sawmilling
Yeah, if you want to see that, that's at 10, 2, and 4.
Yeah.
And that's
on
on
Friday and Saturday.
Friday and Saturday because it's all day. Now, you said, did you tell me that the pony pool starts at 7 on Saturday? I thought you told me that, but the gates open at 8. So maybe that's just they're supposed to be starting to get there at 7.
Well, that's 7 p.m.
Oh.
Yeah, on Saturday.
Okay, so I don't know. I was thinking it was
Yeah.
So 7 p.m. is the pony pool
Mhm.
on Saturday.
Mhm.
Okay, I had that I was thinking it was a morning
Yeah.
thing. Okay, so go
No.
through that again. So tell me when's the tractor's going to start?
tractors, like I said, mini rods are Thursday night
Okay,
at let's see if I can find it, 7 p.m.
okay,
Then the tractors pull at Friday at 5, starting at 5, and Saturday starting at 1.
okay, okay. So I mean, it's just a good time, guys. And talk about we've got vendors and things like that. We'll kind of right back around and talk about the difference. Like we'll talk about what your favorite event is and all that here in a minute. But since we're kind of on the subject of the entire content of the weekend, what kind of vendors can we expect? I have my favorite that mills the corn for my coarse corn meal
Yep.
that you have to make pretzels properly. And I get a new batch every year.
Yep.
Keep it in my I keep it in my freezer, but I toss it every year and get
Mhm.
new. And
Yep.
so I got to go get that. So talk to me about the different vendors, and we can talk a little bit more about them too.
Yeah. So this year, Josh Pettigo, he's our flea market and vendor guy.
Okay.
He's been working real hard, getting more artisans, more flea market like when you go to Nashville and all that, those type of guys with the arts and crafts and stuff. He's getting them. He's getting a lot of people pumped up to come. It's looking like it's going to be a good year for vendors, and it's really going to be anything that you need or want is probably going to be at this show. You got old tractor parts, you got cast iron stuff, you got arts and crafts, you'll have artisans. He's been working real hard on getting people like, he does the grist mill, grounds the corn, people that are.
Is he the one that grinds the corn that I get the meal from?
Yep.
Okay. I wasn't sure, but I love that. That's just really cool. And you can get actual grits and all that,
Yep.
so, but, my friend up in Kentucky, if it ain't red, leave it in the shed.
That's right.
That's
That's
what
right.
you said earlier, wasn't it? If it ain't red, leave it in shit. I hear you, Andy. So, but anyway, so you've got they do. If you come up to the corn milling, I usually get what they call the grit blend because it's just a rough, coarse cornmeal, and you can't find it anywhere, guys. I truly, I've looked whenever I started making homemade pretzels and things to try to find this coarse ground meal. You can't find it.
Yeah.
I mean, and you'll have it in the store and it'll say coarse ground. It's like, no, it's not. It's not what you
not the
need.
same.
You need that really coarse ground meal, and I don't know where else you can get it. So if you want me to teach you to make soft, homemade pretzels, go get you some coarse ground meal at the Threshermen show.
Hey, one other thing that I want to bring to light is the Possum Trot Forge, blacksmithing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they come in. They got Friday and Saturday, and it is an all day. They're in their barn, their forge, they're sitting there making knives and utensils and.
It's okay. It's okay, buddy. Jake's having a little bit of meltdown, but that's all right.
But yeah, they'll take orders. You can come in if you want a knife made and you want it to this spec. They can make it for you.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
They'll have stuff already pre-made there.
Okay.
To sell, but yeah.
Okay, that's pretty cool. It's probably a little hot in here for him. Is it a little stuffy? So you all right, Betty? Okay. But we're talking all things Threshermen show. This is coming up in Adams next weekend. Tell people how to get to Adams because we have a lot of folks that are new. Now I know you can go Google Adams, Tennessee, but for people that maybe have just moved to Robertson County, kind of give them an idea of what direction and all that because it's up towards Kentucky line.
Yep.
So go ahead and give us the directions. What would you say? How do you find Adams?
Really, if you just go down 41,
Okay.
you'll come across it.
You'll
It's right
come
there
across
off the
it.
highway.
I love it.
Yeah,
I
if you're
love
coming
it.
from Springfield, you hit 41. I mean, you can't miss it. You're going to drive right through Adams.
And how close to the Kentucky line is it? Because it's like right there, isn't it?
It's. I mean,
half a mile. No,
it's.
I mean,
It's a few miles. It's probably 5 or 10 miles.
yeah, but it's right there.
Yeah.
It is right there at the state line, and it is a good time, and it's a wonderful little community. You get up in there, and they've got where they have a lot of the vendors will be inside the old schoolhouse, right? That's the old schoolhouse.
Yep,
isn't it?
we'll have some in the gym. We'll have the schoolhouse. Most of them will be outside, but you'll have some that
Yeah.
are.
If you want to get a little bit of air.
Yeah.
That's
Those-
always that's the reprieve. It's like, man, I need to go in and see the
prime
booths
spots.
inside. Yeah, for sure. Mr. Henson's usually in there
Yeah.
selling his walking sticks. Love him. And that's one of the things too. I went in there the first time that I met Mr. Henson was at this event.
Yeah.
And I walked in, and I think I was in there an hour. And my husband finally was like, "Where are you?" I'm like, "I made a new friend, and
Yeah.
we're talking history because I'm just fascinated by the history of the local communities." And he's one of them. He's we this is a faith-based radio station, so we don't talk a lot about the Bell Witch and all the creepy stuff that go along with it. We talk about the historical aspect of it and how the whole story got started. And that's always fascinating. And Mr. Henson, completely unpacked that. But that's something you can sit down if you're curious about it. And you're like, if the whole kind of Bell Witch thing kind of makes you go, ugh, well, go talk to Mr. Henson and he'll explain to you that a lot of these stories were started to, we have a slave history, and people would start stories to try to keep slaves from wandering off. And a lot of the things that were told, maybe there was some weirdness going on, with the family, but in the same sense, it was, kind of exaggerated a bit to create this folklore.
Yeah.
And, so that's all it is, guys. But you can learn about that. And there's the old cabins and things there. I mean, it's just a neat historical. If you want to understand the history of Adams without all the spooky stuff, this is the time to go.
Oh yeah.
And you get a history lesson.
Yeah,
for
you do.
sure. But so tractor pulls and all that. Let's get back to you, Garson. So as far as what will you be competing in? This young man, to my friend Andy Leonard's up here, he's got how many tractors?
Over 20.
And how old are you?
15.
Okay. I'm just like, he's going, what? I guarantee you. But, and he is just like you, Andy. He says, if it's not red, leave it in the shed. But he does have some others, and Farmall is your favorite.
Yeah.
Is Farmall is that how International began?
Kind of. Well, they were McCormick Deering.
Okay.
And they started Farmall as a like multi-purpose tractor.
Okay.
And then it just kind of stuck. And throughout the years, even when International went out, they still making under the Farmall name.
Okay, but they're connected.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah. they're all
Okay.
connected.
See,
All
I don't
just
really know
connected.
that history because again, I'm a green girl.
Yeah.
I'm a John Deere girl. But so that's the kind of stuff too that you can learn at the Threshermen show is
yeah.
kind of get the backstory. You can talk to a 15-year-old that knows all about this stuff.
Yeah.
How long when did you get your first tractor?
I think I was either 4 or 5.
I remember your
And-
granddad was telling me that,
Yeah.
and so I just thought that was hysterical. And 4 or 5, really?
Yeah. It was
That's
a little,
crazy.
little Alice Chalmers.
Mm-mm-mm.
Itty bitty little tractor, but
Is everybody jealous of you because you got so many tractors?
some of them, they just like to come and ride them all the time.
Oh, I got
They
you.
always want to come over and
You
stuff.
got them all running?
Oh yeah, all of them are restored and running.
That's so cool.
So,
That
so,
is
oh, yeah.
so cool. I mean, do you have a girlfriend?
No.
Okay. Well, if you do, somebody's going. You're going to probably meet her at the Threshermen show. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
More likely, you're going to have somebody that has a love for this.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of like you love me, you're going to have to love my tractors.
That's right.
There you go. Come on. But so, what is your favorite thing to compete in then?
Probably the wheat threshing. I
Okay,
usually
okay.
pull the wheat wagons for them.
Okay.
All my buddies, we get up there with the little pitchforks and throw it in the thresher.
Okay. But that's not really a competition. That's a show.
No, I'd like to pull some tractors, but I don't want to hurt any of them. I want to keep them.
Oh, okay. You don't want anything to get because I mean,
No.
we were talking about the horses and stuff.
Oh yeah.
They're athletes. You do not want them to get injured. So you finally get to that stop point. You don't push them because
That's right.
you will injure a horse. That's one thing. My husband's like, don't hook back up because
Yep.
he knows. He'll watch them and he's like, man, they don't need to hook that horse back up. That horse is,
Yeah.
and he gets real passionate about that stuff. And and the same thing goes with an engine. You get to a point and you start pushing it, kind of like I'm pushing my old car out there. You get to a point, it's like, I'm done.
Yeah.
Either
Yeah.
fix me or junk me.
Right. Yep.
Or you're going to have to junk me if
Oh,
you
yeah.
don't fix me before you put me back out there.
Yeah.
So you will pull then, maybe, or maybe not.
Maybe.
Oh,
Most
you're
of mine
kinda-
are just farm stock tractors. None of us
Okay.
been really built out or anything.
Okay,
It's
to
all that
actual
stuff, so-
pool. Because do
No,
you have
yeah.
to compete in the tractor pool? Do you have to soup them up a little bit?
No, not really.
No.
They have some farm stock classes, which I might do this year.
Okay. But now the one that you were talking about on Thursday night, that's the one that's been modified.
Yeah, those are like highly modified with like custom built frames, big
Okay.
fenders on them, like big motors, like
Mhm.
454 Chevys and all that
Yeah,
stuff. on
big
them.
V8 engines
V8s
on.
engines on these little itty bitty tractors.
Oh, how funny.
Yeah,
That
they're,
should
they're
be
very
fun.
fun to watch.
I bet. So how many people do you think will be in that one, in that competition? Will there be quite a few in that?
That'll be quite a few pulls.
Yeah.
Okay.
It'll
So-
be Thursday night. Thursday, there's not really a set schedule.
Mhm.
You've got horse pool at 7. You got mini rods at 7. But as far as like everything else, Thursday's always a good day to come out if you want low crowd. You don't want to mess around with a whole lot of people. You get to see everybody getting ready. We're cranking up.
Right.
You kind of get a little more one-on-one time too if you're really interested, and we're putting around, we're making sure everything's running and working and getting everything greased up and
Mm-hmm.
just seeing what's
Well,
going
you
to
get a
break or
chance-
not break.
Like you said, looking into the engine and just kind of really getting a look at it and
Mhm.
seeing, okay, this is what this is all about.
Yeah.
That's your opportunity to do that. And
Right.
I mean, and you just get an insight that that you maybe won't get when it gets real busy. And so you can come in. What time do y'all finish up on Thursday night? What is the closing time, would you say, of or just because a lot of y'all camp out there?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
When
yeah.
when would you say y'all go on home? Or do you?
Well,
ever
we don't
say
shoot.
that?
We don't shoot anybody home. But it's just whenever the pools get done,
Yeah.
that's when everything kind of shuts
Kinda
down.
Shuts down.
Yep.
Because are y'all camping out there?
Oh yeah.
So that's what tickles. That's why I'm saying this is they do that up north,
Mhm.
and I'd never been around that because I mean we would all just go. Well, I guess there was some people that would stick around the fair because you got to kind of keep people from messing with stuff.
Oh, yeah.
But it's kind of like the fireworks, the fireworks tent. Everybody's camping out, selling
Yeah.
fireworks, but you have those moments. But that's one of the cool things I've seen is just how you guys come together in such a family that it's people that you hang out with every year, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got your Threshermen family, and then that is
Yeah.
a true thing. And you were talking about how it's the old time fair feel.
Yeah.
You know, it is a place where you don't have to worry about where your kids are, what they're
Yeah.
doing, because everybody's looking out for everybody.
Yeah.
We're all there having a good time. And it's just a good family event for
I
everyone to
gotcha.
come.
Yeah. And you don't have that a lot anymore. It used to be, I could take off, and my parents didn't worry about where I was. They
Yeah.
knew that, there was people all, I mean, and I grew up I was
Mhm.
in the country, but you just didn't worry about it. But I could go to the fair. I could go to the fair up in Mayfield, and I just run all over the place.
Yeah.
And they didn't worry about it. Well, you've got that, and this is just it's such a camaraderie. It's such a wonderful, just that old time family feel. And I can't say enough about it. And I think it's almost like it's for people who aren't local, they don't have any clue what it's about.
Oh yeah, it's strange. It's a
They're
strange
like, what
world.
in the world
Yeah.
are they doing? What do you mean Threshermen? What?
Yeah.
What do you mean? And I mention it to people, and I say, hey, the Thresherman show coming up next weekend. Y'all need to go because they're new.
Mhm.
And they're like, what in the world's a Thresherman? And I have to get into the history of it and explain to them the way we used to farm.
Yeah.
Even, I mean, it was modern in regards to, when you got away from horses and all that. My dad, his claim to fame was, I mean, you figure when kids were brought up on farms, number one, you had a lot of kids because you needed farm hands. I mean, that's just the
That's
truth
right.
of it.
That's
My
right.
daddy grew up in a family of 9, and my daddy was next to the youngest, and he talks about teaching himself to tie his shoes behind the plow horse.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how it used to be, y'all. And whenever you went beyond the horses, the steam engine, that was the next thing.
Mhm.
And that was modern. And I don't know if y'all might know this or not. What would you say how long would it be between the horse technology that we had steam technology where we went into the tractors as we start knowing them today? What would you say the timeline? How long did we actually use steam?
Well,
I think
Probably from
it was the early or the late 1800s, 1890s
whenever the
is
steam started
really
up.
when it started kind of
Okay.
rolling pretty good. The early 1900s, you were
Starting to see
Yeah.
what is the oldest tractor you've seen?
I've
Tractor, not steam engine, but tractor.
I know Farmall came out with one in 1924.
Okay.
And I've seen one from that year, but that
Right.
was when Farmall released their tractor. That's kind of when gas started taking over
Okay.
because everybody else started making row crop type tractors because they're a lot more affordable to run, better for farming and stuff.
Yeah.
That's kind of
Yeah.
when they started going from these giant steam tractors to these smaller row crop tractors with just as much horsepower.
This boy knows his history. I'm telling you, that's pretty
Oh, yeah.
cool. And that's the thing. I love history. And if you get the timeline on when technology changes, it shows you so much about how societal things change. And because you went from, and I guess some people, even in the during that time, couldn't afford a tractor. They were still using horses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's some, because, I mean, you figure you talking about the Depression and those times periods, you couldn't
Oh, yeah.
necessarily afford a tractor or a steam engine or anything, and you're still using your horses.
Yeah.
So, and then and we haven't even talked about the Amish and Mennonite communities in the area, but they still use a lot of horse-driven power. And some will bring in. I know it's different. You have different degrees of that community where some will use some electricity,
Yep.
some will have vehicles and things like that.
Yep.
But some of the old school folks, it's all horse driven. And will you have anybody there that's from the Amish or Mennonite community that's doing just horse driven stuff?
No, I mean there'll be a lot of them there,
Okay.
and they won't be exhibitors, but
Yeah.
they'll be there, and you'll probably see them
Oh
working
yeah.
and doing and helping and all that,
Yeah.
and it's great.
Oh, they're wonderful folks.
Yeah.
And they love the horse pull.
Oh yeah.
And yeah. And that's one thing. I've talked to a lot of them at the horse pulls and stuff, and the kids just cute as they can be. Of course, now one of our favorite vendors, I don't know if they're going to be there or not, make the donuts. Are they going to be there?
Yes,
You
they
know?
will.
They will be there.
Oh,
Okay, good.
Oh, you have no idea. You know, people talk about the different donut shops and stuff. You just, I mean, they are so good.
It's good.
And
Just good
and
homemade donuts.
yes. And I mean, just forget your diet and come on out and have something, you know, have some good stuff. But that's probably one of my favorite things. And just nice people, couldn't be kinder. I know one year I went there and I was like, I'm not eating them. And then they started walking around and selling them. I'm like, really? I'm trying to avoid you guys. And then they come over by the horse pool and they're just like, you know, like the vendors in the ball stand and stuff. And it's like, donuts, get your donuts. It's like,
you can't come to the show on a diet.
No.
It ain't going to work.
You just can't do it.
It ain't going to work.
You can't do it. We're talking all things Threshermen show. I'm going to go ahead and take my last break, and then we're going to come back and we're going to just talk about and recap all the things that are going on. We don't want you to miss this, guys. I think a lot of the times, I wanted to get y'all in here a week early because I think a lot of the times people get their schedules busy and it sneaks up on you. And the next thing you know, you've missed it. Don't miss the Threshermen show. It is so much fun. It is iconic to this area. It's what this, it's the kind of thing that's the foundation of this community. And you're going to see that at the Threshermen show. If you're wanting to really see community, you need to get to the Threshermen show and you're going to see it. I can't say enough about it. It's so much fun. Something that I have been off and on over the years, and it is a great time. You will be so glad you did, but we'll kind of talk about the schedule again and recap all that in just a moment. But let me go ahead and do my break talking about our sponsors. One of our wonderful sponsors during the summertime, during racing season, is, of course, Veterans Motorplex. If you've not been to the races lately, you need to get out there because this is the old Highland Rim Speedway. It has been made new several years ago. I forget, it's been 5-6 years ago, I guess, that they turned it into Veterans Motorplex, probably longer than that. But they completely revamped it. They took it and just made it into this beautiful, family-friendly environment. There's no alcohol sales, which is real unusual for a racetrack. Anybody knows that? I know we were there one time, and this guy, brought something in, and Jerry's like, get it out of here. And he's like, it's a racetrack. But it has been recreated into a wonderful family-friendly environment that you're going to see racing. Unless it's raining, you're going to see racing every Saturday night through October. And it is a great, great time. They had a big fundraiser for Down syndrome a couple of weeks ago, did great there. Jerry's just so community involved. He's a veteran himself. They honor the veterans there. If there's something that's patriotic, anything like that, they're going to focus on that. They do things for the local high schools, just all kinds of fun programs that they have that are all part of Veterans Motorplex. This is at 6801 Kelly Willis Road in Greenbrier. It's historical. It has been around a very long time, and it's one of those events that if you've not been to the races, if you don't think you like the races, you have no idea what you're missing, and you need to get out to the races as soon as possible. Again, races go on through October. Every Saturday through the summer, you can get to Veterans Motorplex. A $40 ticket will get up to 8 people in, 6 kids, up to 6 kids and 2 adults in for a $40 ticket price. And if you have any questions, you can give them a call at 615-430-3135, 615-430-3135. Talk to them today and get out to the races. And when you do, I think we got it covered, honey. But I think he's going to do some announcing at the horse pool.
All right.
No, yeah,
sounds good.
Well, what's the guy's name that does the horse pools?
Mike Matthews.
He had said something about, you think you get your wife to come down? I'm like, I don't know anything about horses. I'm the wrong person to do that, but he does. Yeah. And so I think he's gonna help out Thursday and Friday. But it is going to be a wonderful time. So let's unpack it again, whichever one of you wants to. When's it begin? What's the ticket price? Kind of do the big. You run into somebody, hey, the freshman show's coming up. What were you going to say? Go for it, Will.
All right, well, it's July 18th, 19th, and 20th, and 21 with our big church service on Sunday. It's $10 admission. So, I mean, you can't do all this fun for a whole lot of places for $10. So you come out, it's $10 a person. 12 and under is free. So bring your kids. They get in free. Yeah, it's a great time. We've got wheat threshing. We've got sawmilling. We've got horse pools and tractor pools, antique. We got the big parade on Saturday at 10. That this year's going to be really big election year, so
So talk to me about the
gonna be a lot.
parade. Because I've not ever seen the parade. So where does that start and how does that run? And so are all the politicians coming out for that?
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Are they now?
Yeah.
So,
So it starts on Main Street
Okay.
in Adams, and it circles around like by the dollar store, and then back on to 41, and then you go down 41 and come back on the Threshermen show lot, and it makes just a big giant loop. basically.
okay. Are you driving in the parade?
Oh yeah,
What are you going to have?
probably my big 1466.
Okay.
tractor.
You just
I
have,
pull
you have to
it.
pick one, or is there,
Oh,
you
yeah.
going to let somebody else drive some of the others?
Yeah,
or?
they're already asking.
So you've got people's like, hey, can I drive one of your tractors,
yeah.
Grayson?
Oh,
So
yeah, all the time.
that's fun because
Mhm.
that's cool to see these antiques running down the
Oh, yeah.
road.
I mean, it's
That's
going to be
fun. Yeah.
tractors and cars. We are going to have. So last year we got our antique car lot back. We
Okay.
haven't had a lot of those guys.
Uh-huh.
Some of the old guys died off, and we
Yeah.
were trying to find new ones
Yeah.
to come. And last year was kind of we got that started again. This year they were excited and had fun last year about it, and we're going to do that again this year. But there's going to be tractors and cars and funny looking vehicles, and it's just going to be a good time. Everybody's throwing candy, eating candy,
There you go.
parade. So
So, and tell me the time on the parade again. And where would you say the best place for me to set up if I wanted to make sure and see everything? Where would you set up? If you were watching, where would you
yeah,
set
you'll
up?
probably just want to be on 41.
Okay.
Be on a spot somewhere on 41.
Okay. And
you
said
can be-
10 a.m.
10 a.m.
10
on
a.m.
Saturday.
on Saturday.
On Saturday.
Yeah.
And it'll take about how long to run the parade? How long is it? About an hour?
Probably be an
Yeah,
hour.
be an hour.
About an hour.
This,
You'll see some
this
roads
year it might
blocked.
even be a little longer.
Yeah, it might be longer than that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a fun time.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see all your tractors out there, and
Yeah.
you'll have them all shined up. You got them all ready? Have you been polishing, or
We,
you got
we
some
ain't been
still?
polishing. We've been trying to get them back, new batteries and all that in them. We're probably gonna start polishing them on to probably starting tomorrow. Really.
Okay, because they got to shine.
Oh yeah.
They got to
Mhm.
shine. They
That's
got to look
right.
good. Will you have every tractor that you own out there?
Well, kinda. Some of them are getting work done on them or being restored.
Yeah.
So it'll be about all of them we have out there though.
Okay, and tell everybody again how many tractors you have.
Over 20. It's
Over 20. He's 15.
Yep.
He's 15. It's crazy.
Yeah.
How many? Do you own tractors? Are you
We've
an
got
antique-
we
do
got
you-
a we got a farm on Cub.
Okay.
Yeah.
You bringing it out?
We might.
Okay.
Yep, we might.
So is it completely restored and
we've got-
shiny as his?
We've got that Kit Gonerman steam engine that runs the thresher, so that's
Yeah.
where most of
That's-
our focus is. So.
That's just it. So that's cool. The steam engines are. I'm just fat. I would love to see the O'Kelly Springfield that we
Mhm.
that my brother has up in Kentucky. They
It's a little
get
bit of a
today.
special year for our engine anyway. It's a 1924 engine, and this year it's
Oh.
100 years old.
Oh
so-
wow,
That's pretty cool.
that is very cool. So
Mhm.
are you going to have some kind of placard saying this is 100 years old?
Yeah, we're gonna try to get something up maybe.
Yeah, say,
Yeah, we used to
it's
have signs
100th
that
year.
hung on it, but yeah,
that's cool.
100 years.
100 years, man, that is so stinking cool. I
Yeah.
love that. But it's so much fun, guys. Now you had said the $10 ticket. What is the ticket price on Thursday? Isn't it a little bit more? Can I
It's
get you if you get the whole weekend?
it's $10. Yeah, you can go ahead and pay for the weekend on
Okay.
Thursday,
Okay.
and
And
you,
get that whole
you have that
pass.
wristband that gets you in. You don't have to like deal with the gates and money and all that.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so you can get the weekend pass on Thursday. So for one person, if you came all 3 days,
thought it
it'd be
was like-
$30.
It'd be $30. I don't know.
Yeah.
For some reason, I was thinking there was a different ticket price for
Yeah.
Thursday night,
Mm-mm.
but it's not. It's
No.
still you can just get the
Yeah,
cool deal.
it just kind of saves you a
And-
little time. You can
yeah.
hold up your wrist as you come
And
in.
you got
and
it.
all of
You
our
got
gate
it in.
guys, yeah.
Okay. Good deal. And you're going to want to be a part of it. You're going to want to be a part of the Thresherman Show. If you're newbies to town, you need to get out there. Starting Thursday at noon, you can come out and be a part of the Thresherman Show and see all that we're talking about. All these wonderful tractors. You'll see the horse pulls, the pony pulls, the mule pulls, the tractor pulls, and all those things. But we're going to go ahead and go through the schedule one more time. I tell you what.
Well, I do want
Go ahead,
to. I
go
do want
ahead.
to say something.
Yeah.
So we've had storms this summer.
Yeah.
A storm came by a few weeks ago, hit Adams. One thing that's so great about the grounds at Adams is the shade.
Yes.
I mean, we got some big old trees.
Yeah.
Well, one of those trees was dead. We didn't know it. Storm blew it over, and it destroyed our steam shed and that big coreless engine.
Oh
big flywheel, the big wheel that everybody likes to come see. Yeah, it broke that. It tore our shed down. We don't want to see that go to the scrap yard or be a yard ornament. We want it to be working again. So we've started a donation box. There'll be a Venmo account that you can log into and contribute to. There'll be some guys that will be sitting up there during the weekend with a bucket, and just any little bit helps, because getting that back going again. It's a really cool piece of history of Clarksville history. That engine ran the trolley system in Clarksville. So
really,
yeah, we really want to see that get going, get back, get fixed, get the shed fixed, because we don't want to see that. We don't want to see that die.
Okay, well, I'm glad you mentioned that.
Yeah.
So is that when you go to fix something like that? How do you find parts and all of that? You just have to.
You gotta hope and pray first, and then you gotta find. Sometimes you can get a welder, which he has to be specially trained, certified. It has to be R stamp.
Put it all together.
And we've actually
that made y'all sick.
We've actually had to have stuff forged. Yeah. And you're just hoping that you can find the mold or the plans for the mold and have it made, and get that stuff going.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, do you think? So are y'all pretty confident that it can be done?
Yes, we think it can be done. We've already got a welder that we're talking to.
Okay.
And he says that, no problem. I can fix this, and this. We're still uncovering some things, some pieces that small, like valves and stuff, that we're still finding and realizing, this is broke, that's broke. But some of the major stuff we've got a pretty good track on.
How old's that engine? How old is it?
Oh man.
You said it was the trolley system.
It ran the trolley system in Clarksville. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. I'm glad you mentioned that, because I had not heard that, because that just happened.
It just happened.
And again, there's plenty of other shade trees. It's going to be awesome. Yeah. And there's a lot of them out there. But if you want to help with that, this will be your opportunity to do that. If you've been somebody that's been a long time visitor of the Threshermen show, this is opportunity to keep that little piece of history going and making sure that restoration happens in the way it should. Yeah. Okay, so we're down to the last few minutes here. Let's talk. So $10 per day. Come out, get your ticket. If you want to go ahead and pay for all the days on Thursday, you can do that. You can get your weekend pass that will get you in all 3 days. Sunday, there's no charge. If somebody just can't make it out for any of the event, they can come and just be a part of your big old family on Sunday.
Absolutely. So, and eat a whole lot of good food.
Eat a lot of good food, because it is a dinner on the ground kind of atmosphere. Which church is
Red River Baptist.
Red River Baptist. What time does that start? Did you tell
Services
me?
At 11.
So 11 o'clock, they're going to have services. We all have it there in that pavilion?
It'll be in the pavilion.
Okay.
Yep.
So that's nice and shaded. It'll be cool. And then right after that, you're going to have a throwdown potluck dinner that will guarantee you will come away stuffed full. Mm-hmm. And if you've never been to a potluck in this area, you don't know what you're missing. And the Baptists really know how to do it. I'm just saying. Baptist and Church of Christ, honey. They know how to put on a potluck. So if you can go to any of those, then you know you're in the right place. So that's on Sunday. There's no charge for that. Any other day, $10, and get on in there, because you're supporting something and keeping it alive that has been going for 54 years. I love this. Get a chance to see this 100-year engine that Will and them are going to be firing up. That's going to be a good time just to see that. But now, talk to me about the events. Let's unpack the events again. What is happening on Thursday? You give me the Thursday schedule, and we'll let you have Friday, and then y'all can both chime in on Saturday. Yep. So give me the Thursday schedule.
Mini Rods Pool at 7 p.m. on Thursday. And then Big Horses Pool and Mules Pool on Thursday at 7 p.m. too.
Okay, so I was thinking the Big Horses are on Friday.
The Big Horses are on Thursday. Mules are on Friday.
Okay, I had that backwards. So, so Big Horses, if you want to see the horse pool, the thing my husband's so passionate about, and then we're talking Belgians. If you've never seen, I think they're mostly Belgians. Yeah. And if you've not ever seen a Belgian, you don't. We were at a friend's house that had horses the other day. And they're like, look how big this horse is. And my husband's like, it ain't a big horse. It ain't a big horse. And, Belgians are just huge. And they're fascinating to watch. They really are. And that's on Thursday that you can see that. And with the mini rod pool, if you want to see a car engine on a tractor, Well, there you go.
Pretty much, yeah.
That's going to be it. And it'll be quite a show. Anything else on Thursday, or are those the two primary things?
Those are the two primary scheduled things.
Okay,
Yeah.
but you'll get kind of first dibs on the vendors as they're setting up.
Yep.
If there's something, you get first look at
Oh, yeah.
their wares. Now, don't be a big pest if they're still setting up.
Yeah.
Let them get set up. But it'll give you a chance to kind of get in there. I know on some events people go early because they know a vendor's going to be there, and they're like, well, I want to get that before somebody else gets there and
Right.
gets it.
Oh, yeah.
This is your opportunity. And you can come
right.
in there on Thursday and be a part of that. And again, a little bit lower crowd, than what you're going to have. So if that's
Yeah.
your thing, that's your night to go.
It'll be a good day.
So what's the Friday schedule?
So Friday we'll have gates open at 8. We've got wheat thrashing 11, 1, and 3. We'll have sawmilling at 10, 2, and 4. You'll have the mule pull at 5 o'clock. No, I'm sorry, at 7 o'clock. And you'll have the antique tractor pull start at 5 o'clock.
Okay, so
And
you can get both of those pulls in,
Yeah.
if you want to see.
Mule pull, that'll probably maybe 2 hours.
Okay,
The tractor pull, that usually goes on in the wee hours of the night.
yeah,
Yeah,
it
it'll-
takes a while.
Yeah.
I
So-
mean, they just don't give up, and
They
there's
don't.
usually more of them. You're limited. You don't have as many animals out there, but you got a lot of folks getting these tractors, fixed up, and they want to show their stuff.
That's right.
Yeah, so very good. So then, now talk to me about the Saturday schedule. How's that happening?
So gates open at 8.
Mhm.
Then we got the big parade. It's at 10 o'clock. Starts 10 a.m. The tractor start at 1 p.m. And then the pony start at 7 p.m. on Saturday.
Very good.
Wheat thrashing and sawmill, same schedule as
Same schedule
Friday.
on
Yep.
Friday.
Wheat
Okay.
thrashing 11, 1, and 3. Sawmill 10, 2, and 4.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, I think we got it covered.
Oh, yeah.
Anything we're missing, guys?
You need to come to the souvenir booth. We're gonna have a lot of
Oh,
good
yeah.
shirts
Nice
and
cool
hats
that
and,
they've got.
and buttons and
Yeah.
plaques and all that. That's where you're gonna come and register if you're an exhibitor.
Okay.
That's where you're gonna come and register as an exhibit. You're gonna come there and register any type of golf cart that you might have, which is $25 to register a golf cart that you
Okay.
can have on the grounds. But yeah, I mean,
So, do you have to be a vendor to register a golf cart, or can somebody that wants to just
It's
come to the show
anybody, yeah.
fill around in one?
mhm.
Really?
Yeah, if you bring your golf cart, yeah.
Okay. That's not a bad idea. I just had knee replacements. So, I'm
Yeah.
still kind of gimping around a little bit. So that's not a bad idea. I didn't realize that because I see a lot of them running around. But
Oh, yeah.
now, and where he's talking about, that's right across from the cabins. Usually, y'all set up.
It is
there.
right across
Yeah.
from the cabins
Yeah.
and the old barber shop. It's right
Yeah.
behind the gym, right behind the schoolhouse.
Yeah, you can't miss it.
Yeah.
But good time. I'll tell you, you don't want to miss it, guys. It's going to be fun. I'll keep talking about it and building it up over the next week. If anything comes up you want to mention,
Yeah.
be sure and just reach out to me and let me know, and I'll add it to our announcements. But we'll keep, pointing everybody down up to Adams.
Yeah.
Up to Adams, up Highway 41. You can't, like I said, you'll run into it.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
that's what Grayson said. You'll
Can't
run
miss it.
into it. Come on. So anything else that you think you've got to cover that we haven't mentioned? I think we got it.
I think we're good.
And I think, Jake did awesome. So, by the way, you're littling.
Yeah.
But he
had
had
early
enough.
morning.
So, yeah,
Early
I got
morning.
you. But Threshermen Show, guys. Thank you, Will. Thank you, Grayson,
Thank
for
you.
being a part of it. Thank you, guys, for being a part of what we're doing here at 1100 WSGI. God bless. Have a wonderful night.